everyone, and welcome to the news for the week of November 14th. I am Delrith, and instead of Maxi this week, I am joined by the amazing, the angry Godfoot. Godfoot, what do you got to say to the people this week?
Well, I'm currently not my other persona, Angerfoot. No, just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back again. So, it's a good time. Can't wait to get this news out.
As you know, last week I was incapacitated. I had a kidney stone. Life was pain and misery, and I could barely function. So Godfoot and Maxi were awesome, and they covered the news. But I am back in full swing now, and we're gonna start getting Godfoot into the news sometimes. You know, maybe every other episode or different formats or something in the future. But Godfoot's less busy now and able to focus on doing stuff. So it'll be nice to have him back. And so with Maxi being on vacation, we just figured we would get right into the news with Godfoot rather than me doing alone. And boy, Godfoot, do I have a good starting article for you. Now, Godfoot, you loved Elden Ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, statistically speaking, Sonic Frontiers is a better game than Elden Ring now.
According to what statistic exactly?
According to both the critic scores and user scores on Metacritic, Sonic has an 8.5 user rating on Metacritic, and Elden Ring's at a 6.9. So as far as people are concerned, really? Sonic Frontiers, which is a garbage game, by the way, that is clearly an asset flip if you do any like sort of past surface level digging, Sonic Frontiers is a better game than Elden Ring.
It doesn't help that Sonic is going Super Saiyan in that first image.
No, yeah, Super Saiyan Sonic is actually a thing.
Yeah, this is how did he get better reviews? Why are people like destroying Elden Ring?
Let me explain to you that it doesn't matter how shit for the most part a Sonic game is. The community is so unbelievably ravenous and supportive of their franchise that even though you could get videos like Donkey's video just really showing how bad the game is. I mean, in that video, a seagull is faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. They will go in troves to support their titles and boost up a game's scores just because like Sonic is life for a lot of people. And if there's anything I've learned, Godfoot, it's you do not mess with the Sonic fandom. You don't poke that high.
I have the perfect idea. I'm gonna go into the Unreal Engine 5 demo. I'm gonna change the character into Sonic, make him run really, really fast, and then sell the game.
That'd make a lot of money. and here's the thing to keep in mind.
New game of the year contender.
Elden Ring has 400,000 Steam reviews, for example, and Sonic only has 6,000. So the numbers are definitely really, really skewed. I know for a fact that a massive majority of people didn't even bother buying Sonic Frontiers. I'm one of them. I saw it and I watched people playing it and was like, no. I
just watched a couple YouTube videos and I was like, I'm checking out of this one, boys. I'd rather go back and just remod Skyrim again.
It's just funny that statistically speaking, Sonic is better than Elden Ring as far as Metacritic and Steam is concerned. So, you know, unfortunately, Godfoot, that just means Elden Ring has to move over for Game of the Year, which leads into our next subject, the Game Awards. Godfoot, you and I love the Game Awards.
Oh yeah.
So
especially last year's.
Oh no, it was 2020. I think was the one that we were really with Ghost of Tsushima losing to The Last of Us 2, which was total bullshit. Yeah. But anyway, welcome to the Game Awards. They have been announced. The categories have been put up. We've got all the typical categories, all your fun fanfare stuff. One thing I did notice is that Vampire Survivors is nominated for a couple of things, which is awesome. But yeah, we're going to talk about just the Game of the Year nominees. And for those of us that are curious about them, it is A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, which just freaking came out, and I don't know how it got onto the nomination list. I mean, it's always so weird because last year, remember, there were games nominated that hadn't even come out yet for Game of the Year.
I think it might also be assumed popularity too.
Yeah, that's true. Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Out of all of these, my biggest shocker is Plague Tale getting on there. Like, that's crazy to me that it got on there.
How's Plague Tale on there? That's just really confusing.
No, I think it's a fantastic game and definitely worthy of the nomination.
No,
it's
sure,
just not mainstream. Yeah.
Right. Well, there's also a lot of indie categories too. But for Game of the Year, you don't really. Even Stray's on there too.
Stray is definitely a good nomination for it. But I just wanted your take on this, Godfoot. Do you think that, like, out of anything on here, what do you think is going to win?
God of War. I mean,
I think it's gonna be God of War.
It's definitely gonna be like a close tie, probably, or very, very close with Elden Ring and other stuff. But like,
absolutely, yeah.
God of War. It's in so many other categories besides the Game of the Year too, right? And it's
it is. I think it'll get Game of the Year. Yeah.
No spoilers or anything, but so far it's an amazing game. So, and at least amongst the list here, my favorite. So
I think God of War is great so far. I do have a couple gripes with it, which we'll talk about when we do our discussion. But overall, it's been a fantastic game. I think every single one of these games on here is a straight banger. Xenoblade 3 has a lot of issues. So, I mean, like, but the fandom for that game is huge. But honestly, there's nothing on here I don't disagree with as far as being a really good title. However, there are a lot of games that I think are even better than anything on here that got released this year. And it is a darn shame that they didn't get nominated. I think Vampire Survivors is the highest rated game on Steam and Metacritic.
I think Vampire Survivors is in some category. I think is it in the indie category? It's in one of the categories.
But yeah, with how popular it is and the number of reviews, like 1 million+ reviews on it,
there were
being 99% positive, like that's just crazy that it's not nominated for Game of the Year because it deserves it. And all the critics give it like 10 out of 10s and everything. So it's just really weird that it's not on there. But I mean, we got a couple of other categories. We got ourselves best game direction, a lot of the same things we just saw. Never even heard of Immortality. I don't know what the heck that is.
I don't know what Immortality is.
Yeah, but I mean, same game. Stray, but I think Stray deserves best game direction, honestly.
That's what I voted for.
Yeah, absolutely, because it is such a unique experience no other game has done that I feel like the direction is great for it. Best narrative, it's the same games again, dude. Come on, man, there were better narrative games. What do we got here? We got best art direction. It's cool to see Scorn in there, but again, 4 out of the 5 are the exact same things we've seen in
I know there's a lot of repeats, a ton of repeats.
Yep. Best score in music. Okay, this makes sense. Metal Hellsinger's in there. And honestly, like compared to everything else, Metal Hellsinger just knocks it out of the park, in my opinion, because it's based around the music.
It was really, really damn good. Yeah. I liked Elden Ring's music a lot though.
Oh man, did you see they put Gran Turismo 7 in best audio design?
Yeah, I voted for it.
Heck yeah. I mean, but yeah.
The audio is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It's very accurate. It's just so satisfying.
It does seem
that's not even biased being a car dude. Like that's it's actually super.
Yeah, no, it's actually really crazy how much money they spent on recording car sounds for each car and everything. But it's gonna be one of those things where it's hard pressed for people to vote for it because they're just gonna be like, cars, and it's like that's a shame because they don't understand the technical aspects of it. But
out of all the games that are on this list, it's the least played one.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go into every single category. You could see though that there's like 30 or 40 categories now or some stupid
31
amount. Yeah, 31 categories. So it's like they're just making more categories to fit things that they couldn't nominate. And every year it seems like there's just more and more categories. So we'll keep you updated on this. I think we'll do like a big discussion video once the Game Awards are happening. I didn't get to co-host this year. I was last year, I believe, or the year before. I was one of the co-hosts. Not co-host, but the like the being able to rebroadcast it. But this year I didn't bother applying or doing anything like that. But we will do a video on it after it's all said and done. If you people were wondering about it, and by you people I mean the viewers. But yeah, so currently the most nominated is God of War for Game of the Year, then Elden Ring, then Horizon. And Horizon and Elden Ring are tied with Stray having 6 nominations. We'll have to see how the voting actually goes and what ends up happening. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. A look.
There's one I didn't even expect to be on here. Sifu's
on there with 3 nominations, and Tunic. Tunic was fantastic.
And Neon White's on there too.
Neon White deserves to be on there. That game was phenomenal. If you haven't played Neon White, check it out. We can talk about this for hours and hours, but yeah.
And go check out the review on the channel.
For sure. Check out the review for Neon White. It'll be in the description now that we've mentioned it. And it's a great game. Fantastic. I think out of everything on here, I would vote Neon White for Game of the Year because it was just, I genuinely loved that game. And it was such a good indie game. I hope that they do a sequel for it. Next up, Godfoot. Are you familiar with what deepfakes are?
Yeah, it's a AI software which basically can overwrite someone else's face onto another person and make it look somewhat and quite convincing.
So there are actually crazy deep fakes, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of them on the screen right now. One of the most popular ones is the meme singing one. You know what one I'm talking about. But
Yep.
It's getting to the point where if you put a lot of money into using a good deepfake software, you can legitimately and genuinely make it seem like someone said and did something that they didn't say and do. And it's almost like impossible on some of the really good ones to discern that it's not the actual person doing it, especially when you consider the fact that we also now have AI voice changers and AI celebrity voice changers and stuff that sound almost freaking identical to people that are popular or people in politics. But Intel has created a deepfake catcher called FakeCatcher tech, which lets basically anyone and everyone,
it's just called FakeCatcher.
Eventually, detect deepfakes with a 96% accuracy. Obviously, they're going to be improving this, but this is really important for like technology. One of the best ways that this could be abused is with politics, essentially making a video get leaked online of, say, like a Democrat or a Republican in the United States candidate saying something extremely horrendous and awful on screen or being recorded in like a social setting and make it look real. And it would cause irreparable damage to this person's image. And so a lot of other companies have decided they wanted to start developing these AI algorithm detection softwares to root out what is and isn't real, because the average person cannot do that. And when I say that, like, there are deepfakes that are, you cannot tell unless you start doing pixel analysis, it's true. There are ones that are so crazy advanced and complex now that it's impossible for the average person to detect. And there's been a couple of them on the internet that have already caused a bit of ruckus, and you can look them up for yourselves. I don't want to pull any drama or anything into this, but it's been bad. And Godfrey, what do you think about deepfakes in general?
You know, there may be some good / practical applications towards it, but there's just so many more nefarious ways to use it. It's pretty revolutionary, but it's also really, really dangerous tech. And there has to be something that can help regulate it, like FakeCatcher in this case. I'm really glad that Intel is developing this, is making it, because I mean, we definitely need it, especially how it's going and how much deepfakes have exploded in use and popularity.
Yeah,
especially in certain categories. Well, yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, I remember when I first saw the one that was being used as an example. We might be able to find it for the actual video, showing off like how convincing they could be, and it was basically by a company that was making technology to fight it, using one that they had made that was so unbelievably convincing that I was like, "There's no way." And I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that was getting deep faked, but it was like, I couldn't believe that it wasn't that person, only to find out later that, yeah, it was all simulated. It was all AI, and it was being used as an example. So it goes to show that we do need this technology. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Intel ends up like working with other big companies, like, you know, maybe Twitter in the future, or Facebook or YouTube, to essentially auto implement these systems in YouTube specifically, to basically just catch deep fakes before they even get posted with like a new deep fake flag. Because again, the amount of damage you could do to someone's reputation, for example, like if you just picked a streamer that's super popular, say someone like Amaranth or something, and you deep faked her saying a bunch of racial slurs or something along those lines, it would destroy their career, because a lot of people wouldn't even bother thinking it's fake. Same with a lot of other male streamers. They would just assume that, oh, it's just something they said. Obviously they got caught. And so it's going to be really important in the future just to protect people's images, that these deepfake technologies that use these really complicated algorithms and technology in general are implemented into our daily lives. Because I don't want to get to the point where you can't discern reality from fake anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now we're going to talk about a Superman controversy. If you remember a while back, I believe we covered it in one of the news articles. Otherwise, like, it's big knowledge. Someone made a Superman simulator in Unreal Engine 5 and posted a demo on Itch.io and a bunch of other things and tweeted about it, just showing what Unreal Engine 5 could do. And now, Godfoot, if you would do me the honor of telling people what has happened.
Yeah, so that Unreal Engine 5 game of, you know, remember that demo a while back? They added Superman so you can fly around. Looks really cool, and it's just
I think
fun
you're the
overall.
one that showed me it originally too.
I did, yeah. I think we talked about it in the previous news as well. Not the previous one, but one of the past
long
episodes.
time ago, yeah.
Yeah, but basically, someone literally took that, ripped it off, renamed it to something dumb. I think it's Hero City Superman Edition or something. It's removed from Steam now, but they put it on Steam and we're selling it. literally stole the dude's entire work and then just resold it shamelessly. It's ridiculous.
Not only does that raise questions of like copyright, because Superman is like one of the most guarded IPs in the world. It's messed up that someone would just like so brazenly take a demo and just post it on Steam to make a bunch of money. And for those of you that don't know, we'll obviously have the footage from the game up on the screen, but it is an insane game. And it's just crazy that this sort of stuff is allowed to happen because, I mean, like Tyson Butler Boschma is the original person who made it. You can see on the tweet here that he did this whole demo just to show off like how crazy Unreal Engine 5 could be with photorealistic assets and everything. And it was one of the best examples of a game that I've ever seen, like a proof of concept game. There's a lot of things that like you could unwrap here, just primarily like how easy it is for people to publish stolen content on Steam. The fact that this went unchecked and this random indie small company of like super suspiciousness was posting this game and nobody at Valve bothered to look into them and realize that maybe they don't have the money or assets or ability to do this, and this is questionable. The fact that it got through all those checks and everything is kind of crazy. And maybe this will make Steam like get stricter policies, but yeah, at least it's been resolved as of right this minute. We don't know why, if it was taken down, whether or not because it was stolen or because someone that, you know, with believe DC that owns Superman was like, hey, no. We don't have any information. A bunch of the news agencies reached out for comment from Valve, but Valve hasn't said anything about it. But yeah, I mean, this game was basically a platform to prove that this sort of game was possible. And it is absolutely stunning. I hope we do get a real formal game of this, Godfoot. I don't know if you agree with me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I definitely. A new Superman game, unbelievably good.
Like a Superman 64 type of game, but like modernized. No. Yeah.
No more rings, please.
No,
no more rings.
Not the rings, but like I'm just
no more picking
like
up cars. No. Oh God. Never again.
You love Superman 64, dude.
No. My parents bought me that game in Christmas thinking it'd be a good game, and that was one of the worst after Christmas nights I've ever had. That game was horrible. I had to go back to playing PGA Tour.
You know, PGA Tour was really good on the N64 though. I gotta be honest with you. Do you ever play Duke Nukem 64 with all the custom stuff?
Oh yeah.
It was super good. But yeah, good times. Superman game could be coming. Hopefully, but yeah, shame on everyone that stole this or was involved in stealing this. And this is a free demo. We'll put the link in the description. You can go download it.
It's released. You can go get it from itch.io.
Yep. You can go get it on itch. You could download it. You could try it. You could see how crazy it is. It's just a fly around Superman simulator. It's awesome. I totally suggest checking it out. And definitely give credit to Tyson Butler Boschma. And finally on the news, Godfoot, I have sad news for you. And that's that PvPvE shooter Scavengers will be shutting down without ever leaving early access. How do you feel about this? And just keep in mind, Godfoot, it has switched developers since May 2021. Yeah.
You know, it's a shame. I thought it was really cool, but hey, you know, I mean, end of the day, I'm not entirely sure that another one of these games would, you know, lift off too good anyway.
Like NCSoft is making another PvPvE game that has like robots and mechs and
another
stuff.
One?
Yep.
Okay, well.
A lot of companies are trying to take that PvPvE market and try to exploit it. And so like a great example is like Destiny. That's the sort of type of game. The Division is PvPvE, but NCSoft's making another game almost exactly like Scavengers. And it's just, to me, it's not surprising it died. I remember, like you said, you and I did a couple of promotional things for it. But when you make an early access title and you dump all your marketing budget into getting a bunch of streamers and influencers playing your game in super early access, but you don't actually make a good game, you just pay for the hype. There's no real hype there, right? And to its credit, like it was okay and it was decent, but it wasn't anything revolutionary. And honestly, it was just a very mid title and a sea of titles that are already like this. And I don't remember if you remember Godfrey, but it had like survival mechanics where you had to avoid exposure and you had to heat yourself up and all this other stuff. And it felt very generic. And it's a shame that it never even made it out of early access. But when you have a developer juggling a title to another developer or it getting sold in general, it's never good for the game.
Well, technically speaking, it's still on the Epic Store. It's still available on the Epic Store. but it's taken off Steam right now. It can't be downloaded, which is a shame. Yeah, I mean, you guys have until December 16th, 2022 to like take a look and play it, I guess. But after that, it's gonzo and dunzo.
Okay, so yeah, you have till December 16th if you want to try it on the Epic Game Store just to see what it's like before it's taken down. And with that, that will be the news for today. I think it was pretty good. As always, if you liked any of the articles, do me a favor and comment down below. Leave some of your opinions down there, like the video, share the video, any engagement whatsoever. We always have this thing, Godfoot, where we just encourage the audience to put a single comment whatsoever, regardless of if it relates to the articles that we had, just anything and everything. Godfoot, what's your prompt for this week? I want to toss it to you. Now, last week you had you basically were just like, hey, just talk about the articles. No, I want a very specific weird prompt you want them to comment. Like, what's their favorite food? What's their favorite animal? You know, something like that. What would you like people to comment down below on this video?
All right. Everyone in the comments, tell me your favorite.
No. Now you have to bleep that word because YouTube does not like that word. With that, Godfoot, what do you want people to comment on? What question do you want to ask them?
All right, so I want to know what everyone's actual game of the year contenders would be, even if they're not on the list. Like, just tell us what you think should be up there. Give us some reasons. And as a little fun side one, what's your favorite cars? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of cars do you guys like? I mean, I'm interested. I want to see how many of us car nerds are in the comment section.
Thing in there, huh?
Absolutely, gotta be in there.
Either way, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like the video. And until the next video, this is Godfoot and Delrith, and we'll be seeing you. Bye.
Bye.